All right, what's going on, everybody? So I want to do a video really quickly on this new elite billionaire secret society thing that just got exposed called Dialogue. And this should not be at all surprising. I mean, this shouldn't be at all surprising based on what we know about all of the people in the Epstein files and how these ultra wealthy elites operate, and how they think that they're really they're above everybody else. They don't have to answer to anybody. They think that they're allowed to operate in secrecy while they control the entire world. They control all the companies that we use on a daily basis. They write the laws and the policies in this country. So before we get into it, please do me one huge solid favor, and that is to hit the like button. Hit the like button. It takes you less than 2 seconds. It is totally free. And unfortunately, I've found over, doing this for a little while, that certain videos, YouTube just deranks in the algorithm because they don't like it. So you're allowed to talk about Donald Trump falling asleep and his failing health. You're allowed to talk about JD Vance getting embarrassed at TPUSA and stuff like that. What you are not allowed to talk about is you're not allowed to talk about the Epstein files. You're not allowed to talk about the war in Iran. Those things get immediately deranked, and it doesn't even get pushed out to my own subscribers. So please do me a favor from the bottom of my heart. Hit the like button. If you're subscribed, awesome. If you feel like subscribing, that's also awesome. But like I said, YouTube tends to not even push out my videos to my own subscribers. Anyway, let's get into it. This is Philip DeFranco breaking it down.
A secret society of billionaires, politicians, tech execs, and podcast bros co-founded by Palantir's Peter Thiel just got exposed. And while it's shocking, how it got exposed is kind of hilarious. So the group is called Dialogue. It was co-founded in 2006 with data broker Orrin Hoffman. It's invitation only. It's supposed to be strictly off the record. They kept their member list hidden for 20 years. But then, a Swiss hacktivist, the same one who exposed the US government's no-fly list, got tipped off about a flaw in Dialogue's website. You reportedly could just read the HTML code and find a directory of 113 names, with then a separate source giving Wired the full 222-person registration list for this year's retreat, scheduled for August in Dublin, Ireland. And as far as who's on the list, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Jared Kushner, Elon Musk, Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Cory Booker, Maryland Governor Wes Moore, Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale, the Army Secretary, the NATO Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, the CEO of YouTube, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, plus tech execs, podcasters like Sam Harris, actors like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And the fun panel topics for this year's retreat reportedly include navigating World War III, battlefield technology, money does buy happiness, and quote, build a cult. There's then also reportedly a matchmaking service on its own domain. So you have this weird mishmash of titans of industries and then politicians who are often supposed to regulate those industries. And all these people that either have power, money, or the ability to craft narratives that then people follow. And so among the number of potential problems here, you have things like, for example, Orrin Hoffman, right? Dialogue's chairman, made his fortune building two of the biggest data brokers in the country. Well, according to Wired, he's a member alongside Scott Bessent, who, as Treasury Secretary, regulates that industry, right? And Ted Cruz, who chairs the Senate committee that oversees the FTC. And you've got Palantir's Lonsdale, whose company has contracts running ICE software and Pentagon data systems, sitting on the same list as the Secretary of the Army and the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, or the committee that oversees agencies that Palantir does business with. And reportedly, every single one of them registered with personal or corporate emails, not government emails, which is what keeps the whole thing out of public records. So you've got regulators and the regulated meeting privately off the record with no transcripts. Oh, and just for fun, reportedly, Jeffrey Epstein was on the invitation list for the 2014 retreat. So yeah, it might be time for a number of us to apologize to our conspiracy theorist friend.
I'm not going to give any credit to people like, Alex Jones or Candace Owens or any of these crazy right-wing nut jobs. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. And Alex Jones, he literally got sued for $1 billion because he was telling everybody that the Sandy Hook shooting was staged and that it was all a ruse so that, the government could come and take people's guns, right? He also was telling people that the government is trying to turn fish gay or frogs gay or something like that. He's most of what he talks about is complete nonsense, and anybody with two brain cells to rub together can see that. But one of the things that really blew up early on in Alex Jones' career was him exposing, what was it called? It's Bohemian Grove, right? So this is this meeting that a whole bunch of people go to out in California, where they meet out in the woods and they pray to this owl called Moloch. And, he filmed it, and they were like burning this statue in effigy, and you know, there are people there like at the time Bill Clinton and George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush, and he also talked about like Bilderberg Group and the Council on Foreign Relations. So the whole like, you know, Illuminati thing, especially after what we know about the Epstein files, not too far off base, and this seems right in line with that. And nobody should be the least bit surprised that there are both Democrats and Republicans on this, because like I said, Bill Clinton was going to Bohemian Grove with the Bushes, right? And it's not like there aren't Democrats mentioned in the Epstein files, like Bill Clinton and you know, and people like Bill Gates and whatnot. But I do think it's interesting that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is on this list. Maybe I just don't know enough about him. All I know is he's a famous actor. That's pretty much it. But the fact that there's another secret society group of ultra wealthy elite people meeting in secrecy with this thing that was supposed to be like completely closed off, nobody's supposed to know about it, and this hacker basically found out that like you can figure out who's on that list with the HTML thing. Beautiful. My only hope is that somebody, maybe this hacker person, you know, maybe it ends up being Alex Jones again, who knows, but somebody crashes this party and figures out what it is that they're talking about, because as he says there, like, these are people that are plotting like what to do about World War III, okay, and like how to build a cult, which obviously the entire country right now is run by a cult leader named Donald Trump, and he has people around him that know full well that this guy's in the Epstein files, that know full well that he has like complete dementia or Alzheimer's, like full blown. He's falling apart. His health is deteriorating right in front of everyone, and he's committing war crimes every day. He's committing financial crimes every single day, like massive violations of the emoluments clause, literally every day. Like, he's getting paid by foreign governments through his crypto exchange, through his golf courses and hotels and other properties all over the world. This is the state of the world right now, and it shouldn't be surprising that something like this is going on. So I don't know how much we'll figure out about this. I do think it's an interesting story. I just wanted to bring it up really fast. That, yeah, it seems like, you know, everything is still business as usual. You know, it's like, oh, we have the Epstein files. We've exposed a whole lot of people. Let's do another meeting with a bunch of the same characters, or, you know, people in that class, and you know, try and keep it a secret, try and make it a secret list, but it got exposed. And you know, I just, like I said, the thing that just baffles me is that these people operate with absolute impunity, and they feel like they don't have to answer to anyone. And it's a real problem, and the only way that we can stop this from happening again and kind of rein in these people is to actually prosecute them, right? But so far, to date, all of the people mentioned in the Epstein files, not a single charge has been brought, no investigations have been opened. And you're talking about not just, you know, like people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, but people who are in Trump's cabinet, like Howard Lutnick is in the Epstein files and he's still in government. Trump is all over the Epstein files and he's still president of the United States. It's absolutely disgusting. And like I said, I hope this gets exposed even more. Anyway, guys, like I said, please do me a huge solid. If you don't do anything else, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to push this out to more people. The algorithm is famously very, very, very strict on what kind of videos they will actually put out there to more people. And, you know, stuff like this that's kind of controversial or whatever, it just doesn't get pushed out. And it's the only way that a small channel like this will grow, is with more people seeing this kind of content. So if you like this, hit the like button, please subscribe if you like, and check out some other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.